You misunderstood me. I meant you need to hit her. Some people gamble not for money, but to test the edge between sanity and madness, to feel the thrill it brings. And today, Yangshi encountered a mentally ill person who fits this description. The man's name is Guejida. He was deeply in debt due to his gambling addiction. He planned to sell his family's property to repay the debt, but an explosion caused by old machinery left him disfigured. Jida eventually developed PTSD and became mentally ill. His younger brother, Ahua, was then forced to repay the debt for him. The other party gave Ahua 2 weeks to raise the money. He even threatened that if the money wasn't repaid, he would feed them to the dogs. Within these 2 weeks, a serious kidnapping case occurred. The wife of Guangzhou GUN team star player Li Yu was maliciously kidnapped. If Li Yu cannot defeat the Korean Rising Star team in the upcoming China-Korea match, the kidnappers will detonate a bomb. The perpetrator behind this crazy act is Jida, who wants to quickly pay off his gambling debts through match fixing. Soon after, the South Korean Special Investigation Unit focused their attention on Jida. Team leader, Old Kong, immediately led his team to investigate. Meanwhile, Yangshi noticed something was wrong. In the past 2 weeks, Jida frequently mentioned words related to suicide and even proposed a mysterious reversal plan. If left unchecked, it could lead to potential acts of revenge against society. At this moment, Lao Jiang arrived with a large police force. Using the phone signal, he quickly pinpointed Jida's location. On his signal, the security guard knocked on Yangshi's office door. The SWAT team broke in and pinned Yangshi down. Seeing the situation turn bad, Jida broke the glass and escaped. Lao Jiang immediately ordered the building to be sealed off and tied a fire hose around himself. Jida was tightly held, and the two fell from dozens of meters high. Thanks to the fire hose on Lao Jiang's body acting as a buffer, the two managed to survive. In the end, Jida was knocked out by Lao Jiang. Now, the game has started, and lives are at stake. Upon learning that Jida suffers from a severe mental illness and that Yangshi is his attending physician, Lao Jiang approached Yangshi to understand the situation. When Yangshi suggested seeking help from the Chinese embassy, Lao Jiang refused. He couldn't rule out the possibility that Yangshi might also be involved in the crime. So until the matter is fully investigated, Yangshi can only be detained by him. When Jida was brought back, his mask had fallen off, revealing a face covered in scars. All the Korean officers present gasped in shock. As the interrogation was about to begin, Yangshi stopped Lao Jiang and said, "I can only tell you one thing about Guejida. No matter what you do, don't remove his mask." But old Jiang didn't take her words to heart, and the unexpected happened. Without his mask, Jida became agitated and attacked a police officer. By the time they were pulled apart, the officer's face was already a bloody mess. Seeing Jida being tortured by the police, the conflict between the two sides intensified. Despite Yangshi's numerous attempts to intervene, she had no choice but to take a drastic step. Classical music can soothe everyone's emotions. I don't want anyone to bleed anymore. Yangshi's music, like timely rain, calmed everyone down. This also cleared her of suspicion, and she was released from custody. But she still didn't understand why the police would go to such lengths to harm a mentally ill person. However, after old Jiang showed her the blackmail video on his phone, Yangshi realized the seriousness of the situation. The game has already started. If Liu can't lead the team to score in the first half, his wife will be blown to pieces the moment the whistle blows. I agree to cooperate with you, but I hope to save 2 people. Yangshi first asked Lao Jiang to untie Jida's hands, then returned Jida's mask to him, and then turned on the TV to play the ball game. Jida quickly noticed that Liu was not on the starting lineup of the GUN team. This made him, who had worked so hard, lose control of his emotions again. Everyone was worried for Yangshi. But little did they know, Yangshi was playing a psychological game. You kidnapped his wife. Do you think he can still focus on the competition? Jida claims he is motivating Liu. Seeing him reveal his motive, Yangshi quickly changed the subject and asked Jida if he was hungry. After receiving a positive response, Yangshi immediately used this as a starting point. He learned that around 11 o'clock, the person had a meal of soup dumplings and duck blood vermicelli soup at a nearby Chinese restaurant. Jida also realized something was wrong. But Yangshi just gave a sly smile and went out to report. This Chinese restaurant only delivers takeout within a 3-kilometer radius. The time and location are set. Can locate the exact position of the kidnapped woman. Old Jiang was also impressed by Yangshi's move. Soon, his subordinates discovered that only one delivery was made in the morning, and the delivery person clearly remembered that a masked man received the package. Lao Jiang split into 2 groups. One group went to investigate the whereabouts of the kidnapped woman, while the other took Yangshi and Jida back to the police station to record their statements. Dr. Yang, you're with them. I'm the doctor, you're the patient. We're on the same side. According to the investigation, Lao Jiang quickly led his team to find the kidnapped woman. They cut the wire attached to the handle. The bomb squad discovered that there were more than a dozen different wires connected to the bomb. Soon after, the hostages were safely escorted out. Lao Jiang and his team searched the room and found a map of the city's stadium surroundings. Additionally, the weight of the materials Jida bought to make the bomb was incorrect. It is estimated that besides the bomb on the hostage, there should be 4 more bombs of equal power. At this moment, a team member discovered a strange mask in the inner room. At this moment, unaware Yang Shi still wants to sign the document in the police car. To prove that Jida's mental state made him unaccountable for his actions, Lao Jiang quickly reported back on the situation. This kick is a gift from the Korean police for you. Where are the other bombs? Hearing the policewoman's explanation, Yang Shi was stunned. The patient she wanted to help exonerate had just killed an innocent police officer with a bomb. The cold smile under the mask made Yang Shi shiver. Meanwhile, the second half of the China-Korea match at the city stadium is about to begin. So, what's the bet? Yang Shi mocked him as a coward, a loser who has never won. She said he just wanted to earn his brother's respect. In reality, she didn't truly want to ridicule Jida. She was trying to subtly find out where the other bombs were. A mentally ill person is only calm when in a manic state. The bomb isn't your leverage, it's your cover. It's your excuse to stay at the table. Yang Shi's provocation worked. Jida firmly claimed that the bomb is in the stadium. If Liu doesn't help the GUN team win the match, the bomb will definitely explode. Jida, with a pained expression, looked at Yang Shi. She was right. The bomb wasn't his leverage. The 50,000 spectators in the stadium were. With Yang Shi's help, Lao Jiang led his men towards the stadium. He ordered his subordinates to contact the stadium officials to stop the match immediately. However, they were refused by their superiors. The leaders in action left Lao Jiang deeply disappointed. Lao Jiang grabbed a baton and rushed out. His subordinates, fearing he might do something extreme, tried desperately to stop him. In the end, it was Yang Shi who came up with a solution. In fact, Jida's only psychological weakness is his younger brother. Gambling, kidnapping, bombs. He just wanted to be noticed by his younger brother. Yang Shi advised Lao Jiang that to break the deadlock, he must first enter it, turning passivity into initiative. And to deal with a gambler, the best way is to gamble with him. The 3 sat at the gambling table. Yang Shi candidly suggested that Jida be the dealer while he acts as the referee for him and Lao Jiang. If he wins, Jida must reveal the bomb's location. The police will then find the GUN team and let Liu play in the match. Yang Shi promised a major turnaround, allowing Jida to manipulate the game. Jida gladly accepted the bet. Unexpectedly, Jida asked Lao Jiang a very simple question. What is the name of Cristiano Ronaldo's son? This question hit Lao Jiang's blind spot. Jida mentioned that Lao Jiang had one lifeline, so Lao Jiang called his football fan wife. With her help, Lao Jiang successfully answered the first question. Jida agreed to accept the bet and reveal the bomb's location, but he had one condition. With no other choice, old Jiang had to agree to his terms. At this moment, an unexpected event occurred on the field. A player's foul caused a pause, giving Lao Jiang the perfect opportunity to enter the stands. The police have already set up their positions in the distance. Jida said the bomb is under one of the seats. However, if Lao Jiang wants to know the exact location, he has to wear the GUN team's uniform and run to the Korean audience to shout victory. This action indeed angered the Korean fans. Old Jiang braced himself and moved forward. With every shout, he faced beatings and insults from the Korean audience. Seeing him make a fool of himself, Jida was very pleased. Just when Lao Jiang thought he had been tricked, he found a bomb under a spectator's seat. Risking his life, Lao Jiang moved the bomb out. Following Jida's signal, Lao Jiang rushed into the restroom but found no other bombs. Jida interestingly remarked that he just wanted to use the restroom. Old Jiang believed that Jida wasn't the type to comply easily. Sure enough, as soon as Jida entered the toilet stall, he took out a wire hidden under his mask. He knew that old Jiang and Yang Shi outside were using him. But little did they know, Jida was also using them. Lao Jiang was eager to find out where the remaining bombs were hidden. However, Jida claimed to be the dealer. For each correct answer, he promised to reveal the location of a bomb to Lao Jiang. But not all bomb locations. So now the game continues. Just as Yang Shi was panicking, Old Jiang on the side had already pulled out his gun. He cocked it and stared intently at Jida. You didn't understand what I meant. I meant you need to defeat her in a death match, and that means it truly is a death match. As the only victim, Yang Shi slapped Lao Jiang. Jida accepted his loss and led them to the underground of the stadium, where they found the second bomb. But who could have imagined that this madman would weld a bomb to a natural gas pipeline? Jida said that if the Korean team wins, the bomb will instantly explode. The mushroom cloud from the explosion was like a gift to the Koreans. Dismantling it on the spot was too dangerous. Lao Jiang immediately coordinated with relevant departments to shut down the pressure regulating station near the stadium. To be safe, the bomb and the pipeline had to be cut down together before dismantling. When the professionals arrived, Jida took Lao Jiang to the area where the last bomb was located. After surveying the surroundings, Lao Jiang unhesitatingly handcuffed Jida to a pipe. This is a confined space. As long as he carefully inspects, he won't miss the last bomb. He asks Yang Shi to watch him with a gun. He began inspecting every corner and quickly noticed something odd about the nearby electrical box. Old Jiang didn't expect the last bomb to have a balance device. It was extremely heavy due to the steel casing. As Old Jiang was about to give in, Yang Shi rushed up and pointed a gun at Jida, demanding how to defuse the bomb. It seems that Yang Shi was able to intimidate Jida with a gun, and he actually revealed how to defuse the bomb. But facing this madman, who can be sure he's telling the truth? In the end, Yang Shi rushed over and pulled down the control lever of the electrical box. But suddenly, a more urgent sound arose, forcing him to quickly throw it away. Fortunately, it was just a flashbang. But as Lao Jiang struggled to open his eyes, Jida had already freed his hands. Soon after, Yang Shi regained his sight. However, the case had become even more complicated. Jida escaped, and even his brother Ahua had no idea what crazy things he might do. But Yang Shi said there were no more bombs in the stadium. As a psychologist, she believed that the game was never his goal from the start. Lao Jiang was willing to trust her, but his superior considered her an accomplice of Jida. Just as Yang Shi was about to be taken away for questioning, she looked at Ahua and suddenly had an idea. Did you place a bet on the Jiyuan team as your brother told you to? Yang Shi left in sorrow. It was only after this incident that Yang Shi realized she had been used by Jida. His cunning mind deceived everyone. The hostage and the bomb were just his tools. Now that he's escaped, he must be pursuing his real goal. She is now certain that Jida is not crazy. He is more clear-headed than anyone. Lao Jiang agrees with her perspective. Inside the rental house, an explosion had left everything in disarray. However, the map of the stadium on the wall was still faintly visible. Lao Jiang picked up the pieces from the ground and pieced them together on the wall. He suddenly noticed that, besides the stadium, a commercial building was also marked. At this moment, Yang Shi found several contracts on the table. One of them, a bus rental contract, caught their attention. Yang Shi also noticed a strange purple light lamp leaning against the wall. When he casually turned it on, Jida's true plan finally became clear. The crisscrossing lines on the map are the layout of Seoul's central gas pipelines. Realizing he had just cut off the gas to defuse the bomb, Lao Jiang suddenly understood what Jida was after. Meanwhile, an unexpected incident occurred on the field. The police discovered that Jida had driven back to the field, caused significant damage, and then left the scene. Everyone thought that Jida was taunting the police, and a large number of officers were dispatched to arrest him. But only Lao Jiang saw the truth. Despite Lao Jiang's repeated explanations, the boss stubbornly insisted on his own opinion, unaware that the JCP industrial building was actually backed by the gambling group to which Jida owed money. Everything was just as Old Jiang predicted. With officers reassigned, the stadium's defenses were lax. As expected, Jida returned. Lao Jiang decided to intercept him at the JCP building before he arrived. He left Yang Shi outside to wait for police backup. He knocked out a security guard and was about to go upstairs. But after entering the elevator, he awkwardly realized it was full of security guards. As the floors keep changing, the seasoned warrior Jiang becomes increasingly unstoppable. But when the elevator doors open, even more guards are waiting for him outside. As the security of the gambling group's headquarters is very tight, even the brave Old Jiang couldn't overcome the numerous opponents. A chaotic gunfight soon ensued. But Lao Jiang didn't have much time to waste with them. Old Jiang was badly hurt. Just as he was about to pick up his gun, heavy firepower approached from the opposite side. Seizing the moment when the enemy was reloading, old Jiang rushed out and fired a shot, finally resolving the crisis. Veteran Jiang ventures alone into the lion's den. Even though he reveals his identity as a police officer, being in the headquarters of a criminal organization, how could they let him live? At the critical moment, Lao Jiang turned and fired a shot, finally resolving the crisis. But he also had a gun pointed at him. At this moment, the SWAT team finally caught the man impersonating Jida. This man had a bomb strapped to him, and everyone was shocked when they pulled off his mask. At this moment, Jida has already reached the gas pipeline beneath the gambling syndicate. After a loud bang, everyone was thrown to the ground. It was then that the leader realized that old Jiang's idea was correct. He immediately deployed police forces to search for Jida underground. However, Jida had already used the explosion to reach the gambling syndicate's secret room. Money means nothing to him. He seeks something far more valuable. Old Jiang was startled awake by gunfire in the dark. At first, he thought it was his SWAT team clearing the scene. But when he saw the man's cold eyes, he immediately realized it was Jida. At this moment, Yang Shi is anxiously waiting for news from Lao Jiang outside. However, a bus parked in the corner catches her attention because she has seen that license plate number on the rental contract at the Jida's house. The gambling company's interior was in complete disarray. With the help of his subordinates, Lao Jiang finally escaped. He immediately informed everyone about Jida disguising as a SWAT officer. But unfortunately, it was too late. Jida slowly walked out of the basement. As Yang Shi expected, this bus was indeed his escape vehicle. Engine off, get out of the car. Do you dare to shoot? Jida reveals his wrist. In a mad act, he has linked his heartbeat to a bomb. If Yang Shi shoots, they will both perish. At this moment, old Jiang emerged from the ruins. Seeing that Yang Shi was not in the car, he panicked. Spotting the bus starting out from the corner, he realized something was wrong and got on to pursue. You can't guess, you're out of moves. Jida kept running wildly, seemingly ignoring her words. Soon, he reached the Han River Bridge. As Lao Jiang got closer, it seemed he was cornered. Just as Lao Jiang was about to be pushed into the Han River, Yang Shi grabbed the steering wheel at the critical moment, giving Lao Jiang some breathing room. Lao Jiang pulled out a gun to deal with Jida, but fortunately, Yang Shi reminded him that Jida had a bomb strapped to him. In that split second of distraction, Jida slammed the gas pedal and knocked over Lao Jiang. Seeing that he still wants to kill them all, old Jiang has no choice but to frantically shoot at the bus tires. Jida struggled to control the steering wheel, barely preventing the bus from crashing into the river. But police reinforcements had already surrounded him from afar. Your brother came to see me today. He said that home is the place that can heal you. Yang Shi played the emotional card, hoping to awaken Jida's last bit of conscience. Looking at the photos of his brothers, Jida shed a tear. Perhaps out of a guilty conscience, he opened the door and told Yang Shi to get out quickly. Then he turned around and activated the bomb's timer, pushing Yang Shi out. Under everyone's gaze, Jida stepped hard on the gas and rushed towards the Han River. The river instantly engulfed the bus, followed by a loud explosion, leaving nothing of Jida. And the chaos he caused has finally come to an end. Yang Shi was cleared of suspicion. Lao Jiang, with a face full of concern, looked at the exhausted Yang Shi and instructed his colleagues to take her home first. Brother, I've had enough. You can keep yours. At this moment, Yang Shi kept replaying Jida's last words in her mind. Since it was in Korean, Yang Shi only understood after an explanation that this was a blessing from Esau to his brother Jacob in the book of Genesis. Perhaps it was out of guilt towards his brother that Jida said this on his deathbed. After this incident, Lao Mai and Yang Shi formed a deep friendship. They promised to meet again, and Yang Shi was sent back home. Out of concern for his family, he asked where Ahua was. His subordinate indicated that for negotiation purposes, Ahua was likely being held by the intelligence agency. However, this vague statement made Lao Jiang a bit suspicious. Since Yang Shi returned home, the words Jida said before he died have been lingering in her mind. In the story of Christianity, Esau focused on external affairs, while Jacob managed internal matters. One day, Jacob harbored ill intentions and traded a bowl of lentil soup for his brother's birthright. Esau enjoyed the lentil soup. He didn't know that his brother had disguised himself as him to receive their father's blessing. While reviewing Jida's medical records, Yang Shi suddenly discovered a horrifying truth. Every time Jida writes his name, he always starts with the radical Zo. But when he was in the prison van, he didn't write it that way. A habit usually follows a person for life. For Jida to make such a mistake means that from the moment he was in the prison van, he was no longer himself. At this moment, Lao Jiang also noticed something was wrong. While everyone was focused on Jida, there was a period when no one was watching Ahua. Thinking about that maddening possibility, Yangshi grabbed her coat and was about to find Lao Jiang. But when she opened the door, she found Ahua standing outside.
警方已经通知我了，我就想来您这里拿回我哥哥的诊疗单。
我进去找找。
麻烦。
She knew that Ahua was the real mastermind behind this case. Sure enough, when Yangshi went in to check the medical records, Ahua couldn't wait to search her jacket pockets. Meanwhile, Yangshi had already locked the consultation room. Ahua forcefully broke in, only to find that Yangshi was not inside. But suddenly, Yangshi ran all the way, urging the night guard to call the police immediately. But in the next second, the old man's chest was pierced by Ahua's sharp blade. The tightly locked door and the long corridor became obstacles for Yangshi's escape. She could only stumble her way to the rooftop seeking refuge. Seeing Ahua walking in with a smile, Yangshi took out the USB drive that had fallen from his outer pocket. You were afraid it would get wet, so you put it in my pocket and had me get out of the car. Ahua said that there was no need for things to escalate between them. He could just quietly take the USB drive. In the end, the police solved the case, the gambling syndicate went bankrupt, and they fled. Yangshi, holding Jida's medical records, completed her thesis and returned home for further studies. In the end, everyone was happy, but Yangshi remained unmoved. Ahua told her that the USB drive was actually a key. The gambling syndicate's billions in assets are all stored in there.
哥哥，他对我说过，总有一天他要把
To pull off his plan, he drowned his brother Jida and took his place in therapy. He placed Jida's body on the bus beforehand. When the bus exploded, he escaped, making his brother the scapegoat. Yangshi glared at him furiously. The one who should be in a mental hospital isn't Jida, but this jerk Ahua. I may not be as smart as you, but today I'm here. It was to leave you with nothing. The sudden change made Ahua want to kill the woman in front of him. He raised the axe and swung it at Yangshi, but a gunshot ended his evil life. In the distance, Lao Jiang arrives just in time to save Yangshi.
啊，那个优。
In the end, everything seemed to calm down. But just as Lao Jiang was rushing Yangshi to the hospital,